there's a stirring inside of me, a feeling that I can't ignore, spiraling from the center, knowing that we can do so much more. It's in the simplest of gestures, a kind word, a helping hand. I believe in our basic goodness. We're all here to understand. It's a little love, a little love.
There's been a war.
It's been forever.
Finally, we had to leave.
Our son, you see, he's only 5,
There are no winners in a war.
except those who profit from it. Finally,
We had to leave. Leave everything.
everything.
Everything behind. I was. I'm a teacher. Professor from Cali.
We live near the river, the Cauca River.
I was teaching at the Universidad del Valle. There's an institute of psychology there.
She was a psychology professor.
I was. We had to leave quickly, you see. They were at the university, the guerrillas.
They threatened her, us, because it was a public university, a government financed.
They claimed we were traitors. Dirty capitalists, ha! Because we owned a car and wouldn't donate it to the cause.
We had to leave.
They took the car.
It was a
Doesn't matter what it was, it's gone now.
Mom, I'm hungry. I want 4 biscuits.
Here. We were on the road to somewhere else.
We got off
We disembarked.
just to listen to the music for a while.
We were beguiled.
Made useless.
And then changed.
We pronounced new words gladly.
We made a stir.
We felt there was safety in numbers.
We were bereft of good advice.
Or talent.
or old wine.
We couldn't keep still.
Couldn't sit still.
Something was stirring inside us.
It was too luscious to keep secret.
We pronounce ourselves ready for
Anything.
For tomorrow.
For
We hardly had time to pack.
We took only what was absolutely necessary and fruitful.
We hardly looked back.
we didn't make a stir.
We didn't want the publicity.
We didn't want to offend anybody.
We kept our remorse to ourselves.
We were tired of living without love.
We had known war,
Dishonor.
Poverty.
Pretension.
Riches.
Songs.
Palaces.
we could not bear to think anymore.
To think this would be the way.
Babbling.
Angry and alone.
That we would go.
At the end.
To God.
There must be another way.
We muttered.
Shouted.
Hurling our distress into the street.
We were careless of the direction.
Without deciding.
We simply turned toward the sun and followed the light.
It's I just don't understand why it has to be now. I mean, you just got finished paying off that terrible debt to the university. How are you going to where will
We will manage. We will manage, mother. There are things we can do.
Teach.
Yes, we can teach. We have it all planned. Here's our itinerary. We can farm.
farm? You mean work on a farm?
Yes, they give you a place to stay if you work.
I'm not against the idea of traveling, Evie. It's just that you
We want to discover a journey of discovery.
And there's a place in India.
in
It's called Oroville.
Orville. Our weary travelers are on the way to Oroville. En route, the bus stops. They get off, exhausted, stumbling, looking around for some place to drink.
This looks like a great place to have a cup of tea. What do you think?
Tea. I don't like tea. I like Pepsi. I want Pepsi.
We are no more in Paris, Clara. We are on a great adventure.
I know, Mom, but I still like a Pepsi.
Bon, allez, on y va. Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Can I have a cup of tea?
Okay. Can I have a Mazda?
How much?
20.
Thank you. Where do I pee? I wonder. That's done.
What's done? You managed to pee on your shoe?
Drink your masa.
Isn't it fine to not know where you're going? Isn't it fine to be on the way? Can't we relax, trusting God and our instincts? Can't we believe in a much brighter day?
But for the child had been gone so much sooner. But for the child I had been on my way, caring for someone so young and so tender. Taking the risk wasn't really okay. Taking the risk was too risky, let's say.
But now I'm a grown-up.
Mm-hmm.
But now I agree.
Good girl.
The life we've been living just wasn't
Sustainable?
enjoyable, practical,
So we had to leave.
to find a new way.
To find a new way.
Isn't it fine to not know where you're going?
Isn't it fine to be on the way?
Can't we relax, trusting God and our instincts?
Can't we believe in a much brighter day? Om Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi Parame Om Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi Parame Om Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi.
Something about his voice.
Something about her smile.
Something about
Their anatomy was perfect.
Made it all worthwhile.
Proved auspicious.
It was indescribable.
When I saw her, I was hooked.
My mouth watered.
my brain reeled.
My toes took off.
Shook off.
Sprouted wings.
Oh, you must have been a beautiful baby.
I was seduced by a smile.
Engineered by an ear.
Heighted by a lip.
Matched by a hat.
Persuaded by a handshake.
A hand shook.
It was mine.
I was thine.
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 Dine.
Rahul and Nishant are from Delhi. They are school friends and are studying electrical engineering and accounting. But they are not happy.
My parents,
My parents wanted me to study engineering.
accounting,
My father is an engineering graduate,
and my mother's an accountant.
So I studied engineering.
So I studied accounting.
Then a friend told me,
Then a friend told me that he had visited the south.
Pondicherry, and he heard
He heard
about this place, Oroville.
Oroville?
Oroville.
So he described it.
I googled it.
Yeah, it looked interesting.
Then my father mentioned that he had been to visit Oroville some years back.
When I mentioned the name, my mother remembered she had been there as a child with her parents.
So we thought we'd go and check it out ourselves. Rahul and I arrived in Oroville.
We studied the Oroville map.
We ate lunch at the Neem Tree restaurant.
We looked for a place to stay.
But we have to find some work.
If we want to stay,
Do we want to stay? Hell yes!
My name is Mohammed.
My name is Suha.
I'm a refugee from Yemen. Before trying to leave my country with my wife, I was living with my family in Sana. We were four brothers, my mother and my father. We had a family-owned handicraft business. We had already seen 3 civil wars. We were together in hard times. We were hopeful that things will get better sometime. I still can't forget that afternoon. I, along with my wife, went to the market to get some grocery. Suddenly, I heard this sound of sonic boom from the sky. Some fighter jets were going towards the city. I certainly knew that something was not right.
We started running towards our home. Just after a few minutes, I heard several bomb explosions. I got terrified. I could see black smoke right quite at a distance. It did not take much time for me to understand that there were several bombings happening in the market area as well as the residential area of the city. When I reached, there was only debris. People screaming, burning vehicles, human body parts everywhere. It was a mayhem.
We decided to leave our country.
Hey, you looking for something?
I'm waiting for my husband.
Husband?
Yes,
I don't see anyone.
he's there.
Right. I have a truck. If you want to cross the border, I can help you.
You have a truck? You will take both of us? We can come?
We will see. But what do you have to offer?
I have money. I have enough money. I can give you money.
Not enough.
Then?
I want something else. I said I want something else.
Leave me alone. Just go away. Go!
Hey, you bloody rascal! Stay away from my wife. Hey, Suha, are you okay? Let's go. They told us it was finally safe.
Safe.
Aid was coming to the crossing.
The Al Baqa crossing.
Saudi Arabia.
From Sada to Al Baqa crossing into Saudi Arabia.
Wanted to hide in a lorry.
They go back and forth, bringing in aid. Back and forth.
Why not people? Why not people too?
But they want money. Too much money. And something else.
You filthy evil.
They have a lorry, but
Didn't have enough money. And we were not ready to.
Where are you from?
I asked you.
Where are you from?
I asked.
Answer.
Where from?
You.
Where?
From where are you?
Are you from?
Where?
From where?
From somewhere.
Somewhere.
There.
There?
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 Where?
From.
You.
Ah. Please allow me to introduce myself.
Let's greet each other with enthusiasm.
With contagion.
With regularity.
Without whining or bickering.
Let's keep it civil.
Let's keep our cool.
They're cool.
You're cool.
Oh, look.
I come from Syria.
I come from England.
I come from Palestine.
I come from Colombia because I was afraid.
I was astonished.
I was stronger than them.
I was stupid.
I was a heretic.
I was a renegade.
I could have been shot.
I most certainly could have been killed.
I left behind my family.
My job.
My hunger for freedom drove me to desperation.
Martin, I hope we have all our papers in place.
Yes, I do have my papers with me.
I'm very nervous. I really hope things go okay.
Don't worry, everything will be all right.
Where's Diego?
He was with you, right?
Oh, there he is. Diego, come here. Stand in line. I'm not able to focus right now.
Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
There's a voice in my head, a little devil on my shoulder, feeding my fears, worry taking over. And when anything goes wrong, he's quick to point it out. Highlights on my weaknesses, fans the flame of doubt. And it's a shame that I listened to him for far too long. Left my dreams by the riverside and floated along like a fool falling forward into the
Yes, Mama, I've just arrived. No, I mean at a rest stop. It's still pretty early. I think I'll wait until I find. Yes, I have the number of the guest house. Yes, I'm sure it's reserved. Yes, I'm sure I'm okay. I know I'm okay. Yes, well, like mother, like daughter. As soon as I reach, yes. Well, you were the one who told me mother's always watching over me, didn't you? No, I'm not blaming you. Yes, tell Papa his daughter is a well-educated, well-brought-up, independent seeker. A seeker. A seeker after the truth of my being. Hey, I gotta go. Yes, as soon as I reach. Yes. I love you too. Bye, Mama.
Ashraf Salah and Sarah Karimi and their son Khalid from Afghanistan are trying to sleep after a hard day's travel.
We were on our way to Australia. But then it's called offshore processing. We were being sent to.
Where were we being sent to?
Can we have this conversation tomorrow? Sleep, darling. Sleep, my love.
To Papua New Guinea. I heard there are headhunters there.
Stop this, please. You're scaring Khalid.
They attack you in the dead of the night and cut your head right off.
Mom, can you please tell Papa to stop?
Quiet, everyone. Let's try and get some sleep.
They all settle down again, eventually.
Vanakkam.
Vanakkam. Sala dosa.
Mumti.
Idli.
Honey.
Vanakkam.
What is your native place?
Sala dosa.
Mullu. Oops.
Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
Masala dosa.
Mumti.
Idli.
Honey.
Vanakkam.
What is your native place?
Masala dosa.
Mullu. Oops.
Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
Masala dosa.
Mumti.
Idli.
Honey.
Vanakkam.
What is your native place?
Masala dosa.
Mullu. Oops.
Kalo Siddhate.
Welcome.
Salamat datang.
Welcome.
Kalos etate.
Welcome.
Salamat datang.
Welcome.
Kalo Siddhate.
Oh, welcome.
Salamat datang.
Welcome.
Kalos Siddhate.
Welcome.
Salamat datang.
Welcome.
I need a place to find myself. Where is the place I hunger for? When will I get there? nothing can stop us, oh dear Lord. Returning to the light, follow the sun. I say it's out there, out there, out there. I say it's in here, in here, in here. I say it's out there, out there, out there. I say it's right in here. If you think it's easy, I'll tell you right now, there are more people behind us waiting in line. If you think it's nothing, leaving your home and traveling somewhere into the unknown, you got another thing coming. I say it's out there, out there, out there. I say it's in here, in here, in here. I say it's out there, out there, out there. I say it's right.
Hello, Tashtali. I'm Darji. I was born in Amdo, Tibet, with 4 sisters and 2 brothers. I am the second born in all 7 children. I started to school at the age of 9. I studied in school for 7 years. During my school days, I used to help my parents to looking after sheep and young. We used to shift our place to the hills to graze the animals. And I had a yellow horse for the looking after animals. And I am a good horse rider. My grandparents used to call me monkey on the horse. I was very naughty during my childhood. I remember that I never missed an opportunity to break the water pots of women. My village had around 50 families at that time. Now there are around 300 families. There was no Chinese people living in our village. Our village big, village small number of people living. There not allow Chinese people come to stay and not allowed to marry with Tibetan girls.
At the age of 16, he decided to become a monk. After becoming monk, he joined Titsa monastery in Tibet. He was there for 4 years. Remember that he was still that naughty child in monastery. During his tenure in monastery, his father used to visit him and he used to bring food and money from home, and he was very happy to meet his father. His mother never visited him in the 4 years because she was afraid that she'll cry in pain and she'll not be able to bear, the separation. And he used to miss his mother a lot. In monastery, he studied Tibetan Buddhism, philosophy, chanting from his teacher. During the later stages of his monastery tenure, he decided to escape to India. In 1997, he tried his first escape to India. He tried selling his house in monastery, but his teacher got to know about it. He didn't allow him to go, and he even told his family about this decision, and they were not happy about it. They believed that it was not possible for him to escape to India. His second attempt to escape was after his celebrations of Tibetan New Year with his family, when he went back to monastery. On January 18th, 1998, he left the monastery to escape to India. He had to take a bus from Ceylon to Lhasa. Just before boarding the bus, he saw this young man, his old father and a small girl waiting to board the bus. They were from Tibet. Suddenly this young man came to him and said, "You and me come to know each other in this life just this time. Please help my father and my niece to reach Lhasa safely." He agreed to help. The bus was full of Chinese people, apart from him, the old man and the small girl. He had changed his looks and appearances with different kind of clothes and a long wig, so that nobody recognizes him. It was a long journey of 4 days. On the third night during the travel, they reached Dangla Mountains. It was a very cold night. The old man suddenly falls sick. He got a headache and he was not able to breathe properly since they were at a very high altitude. He tried to comfort the old man and tried to cover him with his warm blanket and held him. He took the small girl on his lap. He was afraid and in great tension since he could not believe the other people. He could not trust the other people in the bus. He couldn't sleep the whole night, and he couldn't forget that night ever in his life. The next day morning they reached Lhasa. He helped the old man to get to his daughter and son-in-law. Then he took a bus to Dome. On the fourth day in Dome, he was just thinking about how to escape to India. He knew that he was about to start the most difficult and dangerous journey of his life. He packed his bag with clothes, few books and food for the journey. Just before the sunset was a nice time to start. He along with a Nepali guy started their journey. After 2 kilometers of climbing, 4 other people also joined them. 2 were the Nepali guys who were guiding them, and 2 were the Tibetan guys who were also trying to escape to India. Now suddenly this Tibetan guy, he came to Darge and he said, "Hi, are you going to India?" Darge just recognized that guy as Jamyang, his friend from monastery. He took a deep breath and he was so relieved to recognize him. They hugged each other very tightly. They were very happy to see each other. Now they had someone whom they could trust during this journey. It was not an easy journey. They had to climb up and down, walk through the forest for 3 nights to reach their destination, which was in Nepal. They climbed the mountains during the night and stayed in the forest from morning to evening. On the 4th day morning, they reached Nepal and they stayed at the Nepali guy's home, which was up the mountain. There they had some food and they took some rest since They were totally exhausted. In the evening, they started to go down the hill. The journey was still not over, and so is the danger. The Nepali guys had arranged a trawler truck to hide all of them. They had prepared a box inside the truck to hide all three of them. This was the last hurdle to cross. They were hiding quietly in a space barely able to sit. Suddenly, the truck slowed down and stopped. Darge heard a few policemen saying, "What's inside the truck?" At this time, his heart was inside his mouth. They opened the truck back door and started checking. Everyone inside the box who were hiding, they were praying to God at this moment. Darge, he just closed his eyes and prayed to Lord Buddha to save him. After some time, the truck started. The prayers were heard. And the Nepali guy called them, and it was already 5 a.m. And they had reached Kathmandu. After that, they got down the truck and they followed the Nepali guys for around 100 meters. And there was a building, in which it was written in Tibetan language, Tibetan reception. That feeling was amazing for Darge. The great escape was made successfully.
In 2014, I heard about this place, Auroville. My friend who had opened a restaurant in Kulapalim, he told me about this place. I was very amazed. It was coast area, and I was very excited to come here. And in October 2014, I shifted to Kulapalim and Auroville, and I used to work with my friend in his restaurant and take an English language class. And I met many Auroville peoples, and I got a good chance to practice English with the Auroville members, and it's very nice for me. And life is like this. It's finally it's gone well. Thank you.
What an incredible story, Darji. And what an incredible place to wind up at, Auroville. Just listen. Just listen. Immigrating to another country is difficult. It's made more difficult when you're afraid of being captured and sent back home. Very often, rumors fly around and people get frightened. For instance,
এই আপনা কি শুনেছেন?
écoutez-toi quelque chose?
Écoutez-toi quelque chose?
Did you hear?
ನೀ ಕೇಟ್ಯಾ?
একটা কফি দিবেন?
Écoutez-toi quelque chose?
Écoutez-toi quelque chose?
Did you hear?
ನೀ ಕೇಟ್ಯಾ?
Hey, show me your passport. Hey, don't go. Hey, show me your passport. Hey, don't hide. Hey, show me your passport.
When you're far from home, what do you think about? Food.
আবদি বিরিয়ানি।
Paliora.
Aloo samosa.
Sambar.
Delhi ki chaat.
Malabar fish biryani.
কাশ্মীরি রোগান জোশ।
Mango kurumbu.
Butter chicken masala.
Masala dosa.
Kaju katli.
Mysore pak.
আবদি বিরিয়ানি।
Paliora.
Aloo samosa.
Sambar.
Delhi ki chaat.
Malabar fish biryani.
কাশ্মীরি রোগান জোশ।
Oh, mango kurumbu.
Butter chicken masala.
Masala dosa.
Kaju katli.
Mysore pak.
আবদি বিরিয়ানি।
Paliora.
Aloo samosa.
Sambar.
Delhi ki chaat.
Malabar fish biryani.
কাশ্মীরি জোগান রোশ।
Mango kurumbu.
Butter chicken masala.
Masala dosa.
Kaju katli.
Mysore pak.
আবদি বিরিয়ানি।
Oh my god.
The dream of the traveler, the dream of the refugee or the immigrant is to be welcomed on arrival, to be told that we are happy that you're here and that we hope that your future will be bright. But this is not always the case. Take a look.
My parents moved to Sunderland, Northern England from India when I was just a couple of months old. My father is a respected shipbuilder, and Sunderland being a port city, that's where he decided to go. Well, he was a shipbuilder in India, but in Sunderland, he was a marine engineer. He moved there for opportunities like so many other Indians. But ironically, none of the others ended up in Sunderland. You see, Sunderland wasn't very welcoming to immigrants. Maybe it's changed now, I wouldn't know. Anyway, he worked his way to the top and he's happy now, I think. But I struggled a lot actually. I had a tough time fitting in at school and I was made fun of for looking different. Now, looking back, maybe my parents found it difficult as well. I first came to India when I was 8 years old. I hated it. It was too hot and the food was too spicy. It felt like more like a punishment. There were fluids flowing out of my pores throughout. I just wanted to go back. And as soon as I got back to Sunderland, I wanted to leave again. I came back to India when I was 15, and this time I was a little more open. I enjoyed the sun and I realized how dull Sunderland was. I ate the food and realized why the British invaded India. But of course, that feeling that feeling was so great. I finally felt like I belonged and I felt more alive than ever. But I had to go back and got back into the same terrible, terrible feeling once I was back. Uh, when I turned 18, I ran away from home and I traveled all over England looking for that same feeling. I found it in a few places, but I felt a lot more like that 8-year-old kid standing with a wedgie in the school playground. I met Evie when I was 20, um, and she made university bearable. When I told her about India and how it made me feel, we decided to come back here. And we've been here ever since in Norway. And I'm so glad that she feels at home here as much as I do. We're a bit wiser now, a bit older, and I am a lot more at peace.
Hi there. Join me in a hot cuppa. This is my favorite time of the day. I get to relax in the mornings. I'm settled here well. I enjoy my life. I'm in Oroville now for the past 7 years. But yes, I'm born and brought up in flesh in Patna, the capital city of one of the most populated states of India, Bihar, the land of melas and politicians, and of course, Ganga Maya, our holy river of India. I don't remember any single weekend that I've not spent on Gandhi Ghat with Mama and Papa. We used to go there every Sunday to witness the Maha Aarti at sunset. Magical times. It was the only time Papa used to get from his really busy schedule as a gazetted officer. And I used to really look forward to those times when we used to take those heavenly boat rides and gaze at those millions of lamps floating in the waters. Beautiful. And of course, the street fair at Fraser Road. Amazing stuff in Patna. Litti chokha, chana ghugri. But you know what I miss most of all? My mom's heavenly cooking. Her aloo parathe, her aloo matar, her kebabs, sattu parathe. I miss her cooking. I don't think I can get anything like that over here. Sometimes I reconsider my decision. Have I done the right thing? But you know what? Life moves on. I think I've made a better choice for a brighter future. I couldn't envision myself as a successful architect back home. Society was too regressive, too backward, too gender biased. I'm glad I've moved on. That is why I say I'm born again here in Oroville. This is my new home, my land of liberation. Thank you, Mama, Papa. I miss you a lot. Thank you for having faith in me and for giving me the wings to fly. Love you.
My name is Jack Houston. I was born and brought up in LA. When I was 5 years old, my mother left my father for another man. So I grew up all alone with my father. He loved me, but he could barely take care of me because of his work nature. He was a workaholic and he worked harder after getting separated from my mom. My father was the gaffer who was in charge of the lighting department in cinema industry. So I grew up watching all the celebrities in Hollywood as he always took me on the sets with him. I had a dream of becoming an actor, a famous actor. My father supported my dream and I started getting roles at the age of 9. I chased my dream and then I realized something, that I achieved all the things that a successful person can have in his life. But something was not right. I mean, it did not feel right. Something was missing in my life. My outer life was not connected to my inner world. So I decided to get married to the woman I fell in love with. She was also from the same industry, an actress and a singer. We had a wonderful son within 2 years of marriage. Everything was going fine. But still, I was having the same feeling of missing something. Something was not connected to my inner quest. I was not sure what it was. Then a friend gave me a book of Sri Aurobindo. It was called The Life Divine. I read it, I was inspired by it, and I had to go to India to a place called Auroville. But my wife was not happy with that decision, and she decided not to come along with me. She did not want to hamper her work, and she was afraid that she will lose her work if she comes with me. Then I said to myself that I must go, and I want to take my son along with me. Now I am thinking of a great adventure, and I am looking forward to it.
Mr. Abdullah, when did you come?
A week before, sir.
Where did you land?
San Francisco.
And how long do you intend to stay in the United States?
I don't want to go back, sir.
How long?
Forever, sir. Forever.
Oh, that seems really impossible.
Please understand, sir.
As per our records,
I
you
have
don't
my
have any
friends
friends
and
or
family
family.
here. Please do understand, sir.
Where,
San Francisco.
and how long do you intend to stay in the United States?
Sophia,
Forever, sir. I don't want to go back.
How long?
when did you
Forever,
come?
sir.
Oh no,
This
oh
morning
no,
from
that
Bogota Airport.
seems really impossible.
Why did you
I have
plan?
my friends and
As per
family.
our records, you don't have
Not
any friends or
airport.
family.
I'm heading to Toronto
No,
University.
sir, I have my friends.
Look at the
and family.
camera, please.
When did you come?
Sir, a week before, sir.
And how long do you intend to stay?
How long do you intend
Forever,
to stay?
So I'm on a 1-year employment
How
visa
long?
right now.
Forever, sir. I don't want to go back.
1 year
Oh
employment
no,
visa.
no. That seems
That's
really
too long,
impossible,
man.
Mr.
I'm sorry.
Abdullah.
That's
As per our
impossible.
records,
I
you
have
don't have any
permission
friends
letter
or
from
family here.
university,
Please understand,
but
sir.
I have a
So,
immigrant visa.
when did you
I'm
come?
allowed to be here.
When did you come?
I'm sorry,
Week
ma'am.
before,
That's
sir.
not possible.
Where
That's
did you
What is
land?
the reason?
I
San
can't help you.
Francisco,
I'm
sir.
sorry.
Where did you
What
come
is
And
the
how
from?
reason
long do
I
you
need
intend to
be
stay in the
here?
United States?
Coming from
Forever, sir. I don't want to go
Yemen.
back to my
How
country.
But
long?
I'm on a
Forever,
work
sir.
visa,
And how
sir.
long do you
Oh
intend to
no,
stay
Mr.
there?
Abdullah, that seems really
I've come with my
impossible.
family.
As
I
per
have
our
nowhere
records,
to
you
go.
don't have any friends or family
Please
here in the
understand,
United
sir.
States.
I'm sorry. What is
Where
your
did you
purpose of
land? Where did you
visiting?
land?
Sir,
I have
week
no
before,
place to
sir.
And
go.
how long
This
do
is
you
the place
intend to
I'm
stay in
looking for
Australia?
asylum.
Go back to your
How
country.
long?
No, but your country is
Uh,
Oh,
giving me
that
this
seems
visa.
I
really
don't think
This is
impossible.
a
Sorry,
letter.
ma'am.
As
Please
per our
understand,
records,
see,
sir.
you
as
don't
per
have
our
any
Forever,
records,
sir. I don't want to
as
go
per our
back.
records,
that sounds
Please
really
understand.
impossible. As per
What
our
your
records, you
visa?
don't have
Where I'm
anyone
going.
here in the United States.
Where did you land?
So, and how long
I
do you intend
understand
to
I
stay
have
in
no place
Australia?
to
When
go.
did you come?
Why 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 did you come?
So, you want to live in Oroville? Okay.
It wasn't an ad. It was just something that popped up. I didn't subscribe to anything, but it was this 1-minute video on this place called Oroville. And it said a place with no money, no politics, no religion. And first thing I thought was, bullshit. I'm not gonna fall for that. I Googled it extensively. I Googled to page 25 of Google. Nobody goes to page 25 of Google. That's you find some real weird stuff after page 3. So, yeah, I googled it. It seemed like a cult, but it didn't seem like a terrible cult. It seemed like a like a cult that I kind of liked.
For directions, there were 3 people sitting on a wall, and all 3 of them gave me 3 different directions confidently. Go this way, go that way, go that way.
We came to the visitor center and we went. There was no accommodation. Then we found accommodation farm. We rented a TVS and stayed at Pony Farm. And then I heard about Oliver, who was doing the community exchange. Then I had a meeting with him at a place called Verite. Then Bhavana overheard us talking about Ayurveda, and she asked us to come and teach the cooks there to cook Ayurvedically. We taught the cooking, and then one thing led to another, and we eventually stayed there as guests in that community. It's a beautiful city. And then after some month or two, we stayed in Generosity for a while. First in a small room, then Generosity, and then they pushed Oliver out of his house so we could move in. Well, it wasn't really his house.
Remember her one photo I have of her when she was helping the coconut monkey guy. Head had been shaven just recently. She was only 2, and she had the coconut strung around her neck the way the guy carries them. And I still have a photo.
Color who's Aurovilian mostly. They don't think about black and white. They never judge, oh, if my pant is not nice. In India, everywhere where I travel, everyone judges everywhere. What you're wearing, what is it, doesn't matter what you speak. So mostly people judging, but when I come here, no.
Auroville, and at the junction of Auroville there are 2 guards who are basically sitting and to ward off people who are coming here without a reason. And it was the first time my parents were here in Auroville, and when they looked at me, those guards, they said, "Oh, she works here. We don't have to ask her any question. Please let them in." And it's a small thing, but I felt really happy. I felt really, that belongingness to this place.
I think generally this has the physical space also. You have and a bit of mental space also to for example, as an actor, I've been reading a few books, attending workshops, and also working with plays. I wanted to develop something on my own which I can train myself. For example, let's say learn Kalaripayattu, or go for a jog in the morning in Deya Shakti, or do Navarasa Sadhana, which is like a workshop that I had attended. So these are all personal exercises or something, but you still in a place like Chennai or something where you don't maybe have space to do all of that because of your schedule or because of travel or for other reasons.
And some years ago, I've been in India with my family or with my mother, and then I came back, and we were sitting in the ECE, like the fast train from the airport, and we still had our Punjabi suit and all the people around us with the business clothes. And then I was talking German again. It was weird because I was talking in English before. And then I asked somebody, in Germany you separate. To people you know you say you, and to people you don't know you have to use another. And I didn't do this, and the man was looking super strange to me. And then I realized, oh fuck, I'm in a different culture again. I have to behave completely different again.
Being Auroville, distinct from India, is our family sense, like our being together here in Auroville, all pulling on the same, being here for the mother, all being here with that big vision. And however that at times manifests, she's doing it anyway. But we are very, very much together in this. So I'm super enjoying this way of living together here.
I migrate, sir, I migrate. Present in my past. Past in my present. One day, I'll put snowshoes to walk in the red sand. I'll be wild, like the great-grandmother whose blood still flows in my vein, and who insists on loving the freedom of the woods and the violence of the breakups. A golden saree sometimes flies away in the north wind. Mirage and past perfect. Canadian? Indian? Neither. Nothing at all. Just I'm walking on 2 feet. My booted feet in the red mud on the monsons. My booted feet in the black mud of spring. Old French songs mingle with the verses of the Veda. Robert Charlebois' voice echoes through the speakers of the village of Fedayan-Chavali. Papers. Oh, I have a lot. Before, men had less. Women, them, not at all. For centuries and centuries, they have toured the world on foot, on horseback, by boat from sea to sea without papers, like birds. Like birds, risking their lives. Now even the birds are under control, and undocumented migrants are in the hole or worst. Rest, of course, babies of some slums or of a few forgotten jungles. The immigration gentleman said to me, "Your papers are in order, but you are not on my computer." Sir, however, I exist. You see me. Do you see me, sir? Touch my hand. What? Ah, I could be contagious. I know, by dint of migrating we lose the north. By tearing away from places, we tear our hearts out. I know. But what to do? My body is from America. My culture is French. I had a Russian life, another Greek, and I am said to have African roots like everyone else. Sir, do you know how many times I have migrated from one world to another? From one species to another? Before this last landing in a two-legged body with complicated DNA? I don't know. I don't know anymore. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for letting me pass again from east to west, from north to south. I migrate, sir. I migrate. Like birds.
Mother had a dream. Simple, profound, inspiring. There should be somewhere on earth a place.
There should be somewhere on earth a place
which no nation could claim as its own,
where all human beings of goodwill,
who have a sincere aspiration,
could live freely as the citizens of the world,
and obey one single authority,
that of the supreme truth,
a place of peace, concord and harmony,
where all the fighting instincts of man
would be used exclusively to conquer the causes of his sufferings and miseries,
to surmount his weaknesses and ignorance,
to triumph over his limitations and incapacities,
a place where the needs of the spirit and the concern for progress
would take precedence over the satisfaction of desires and passions,
the search for pleasure and material enjoyment.
In this place,
children would be able to grow and develop integrally
without losing contact with their souls.
Education would be given not for passing examinations or obtaining certificates and posts,
but to enrich existing faculties.
and bring forth new ones.
In this place,
Titles and positions would be replaced by opportunities to serve and organize.
the bodily needs of each one would be equally provided for.
And intellectual, moral, and spiritual superiority would be expressed in the general organization.
Not by an increase in the pleasures and powers of life,
but by increased duties and responsibilities.
Beauty in all its artistic forms.
Painting, sculpture,
Music,
Literature
would be equally accessible to all.
The ability to share in the joy it brings
would be limited only by the capacities of each one.
and not by social or financial position.
or in this ideal place,
money would no longer be the sovereign lord.
Individual worth would have a far greater importance
than that of material wealth and social standing.
There,
Work would not be a way to earn one's living,
but a way to express oneself,
And to develop one's capacities and possibilities.
while being of service to the community as a whole.
which, for its own part,
would provide for each individual's subsistence and sphere of action. In short,
it would be a place where human relationships,
which are normally based almost exclusively
On competition and strife.
Would be replaced by relationships of emulation in doing well.
of collaboration.
and real brotherhood.
The earth is certainly not ready to realize such an ideal.
For mankind does not yet possess the necessary knowledge to understand and accept it.
Nor the indispensable conscious force to execute it.
That is why I call it a dream.
yet
This dream is on the way of becoming a reality.
That is exactly what we are doing on a small scale.
In proportion to our modest means.
The achievement is indeed far from being perfect.
It is progressive.
little by little we advance towards our goal.
Which we hope one day
We shall be able to hold before the world.
As a practical and effective means of coming out of the present chaos.
In order to be born into a more true,
More harmonious.
New,
life
That is why
That is why
that is why
I call it
I call it
I call it
a dream.
a dream.
a dream.
a dream.
a dream.
a dream.
The topic of money. What is money? It's power. It's a means of exchange. Who uses it? How do we use it? Let's take a look and listen to the money song.
Put it in your pocket.
And it doesn't go away.
Put it in your pocket.
And it is there to stay.
Put it in a treasure box.
Hide it in a shoe.
Doesn't care where it is.
As long as it's with you.
We can save up.
We don't let up.
We can mount up.
We don't count up.
We can pick up.
We don't miss a trick.
Stop!
It's our precious and we... Oh, sorry.
Money tries to comfort you.
When you're sad or blue,
Money can be difficult
To save.
to spend.
To hoard.
To raise.
so true.
So true.
So true.
We can save up.
We don't let up.
We can mount up.
We don't count up.
We can pick up.
We don't miss a trick.
Put it in your pocket.
And it doesn't go away.
Put it in your pocket.
And it is there to stay.
Put it in a treasure box.
Hide it in a shoe.
Doesn't care where it is.
As long as it's with you.
We can save up.
We don't let up.
We can mount up.
We don't
Mount up. We can pick up.
We don't miss a trick.
money. What did the local people have to say about Oroville and these strangers coming to their villages with their strange habit, their strange looks, their different clothing and language and culture? What was the reaction amongst the people who we came to live amongst? What did they feel? What did they think? Let's find out.
Some of the native people were happy about the migration of the refugees to Oroville. Some didn't like it at all because here in Oroville they have some sort of rules and regulations which are meant to be followed here. So these rules and regulations are not for all. Here Orovillians have some advantages over the native people of Oroville, and some were just curious about the refugees because their culture was different.
Oroville provides more job opportunities for people, and most people used to come and visit Oroville to look at the globe, the place that provides peace. It is a small and clean city that frowns upon any litter of fallen wrappers. The people living in Oroville are kinder to each other, but the dressing of those people may look odd and improper. Most of the people coming here would be more happy to see the village people and their kindness.
When the foreigners started Oroville, it became a famous tourist place. Their motive was to plant more trees and they wanted to create a better environment. A lot of people started to visit the place and it got famous.
The days go back to the mid-century when my hometown Oroville was under French colonization. There lived a charming little girl named Puni. She led a peaceful life with her family and her father, who owned a farmland where she used to spend most of her time admiring nature. Literally, she was a nature lover. She spent her time listening to the chirping birds and roaming around the green fields. Puni adored and loved nature more than herself. As the days passed under the French rule, the village experienced a setback in their farming, as there was no rain, and there existed a drought-like situation. Everyone in the village was worried, and Puni was heartbroken, as she badly missed her beloved green-dressed friends. On the contrary, the foreigners stayed in the universal town. They were involved in land acquisition process with the support of the prevailing government to raise magnificent structures in and around Oroville. As the nature was in favor of the immigrants, the farmers of the village came forward to sell their land for their living. Pune's father, too, sold the land, and Pune was heavy-hearted on hearing. The farmers and villagers worked as servants, gardeners, and were also involved in construction of buildings under the French. These offered them an earning for their survival, and Pune's family was one among them. The foreigners staying in the village initiated many trusts to help the villagers stand on their own. Through such institutions, they taught skill-based employment like craftsmanship. Pune's mother learned to stitch clothes, and now she contributed her earnings to run the family. In the meantime, they introduced education through the trust and created awareness among the illiterate and urged them to join their children at school. As the parents were at work, their children could attend school. This benefited most of the children in the village, including Pune, who started to go to school. Even though Pune missed her beloved friend's nature now, she was ready to lead her nation to the next level as she could become an educated person, and she was valued as precious wealth of the nation. According to me, though we have lost a few of ours and even face a slight impact on our culture and customs because of foreign settlement, we have learned and gained a pool of knowledge and skills which were hidden naturally within us.
Auroville, meaning the city of dawn, is an experiential spiritual community set up with the objective of human unity. It was founded in 1968. The people started to come Auroville in 1968. It was changed by a French woman called the Mother. She was the successor of Sri Aurobindo. She founded it for a place of peace, concord and harmony. Then it founded for goals of Auroville is to be free of religion, politics and nationality. In Auroville, Kuilapalayam is one part. The Auroville founded people should think French people should take all the place, but some could not accept their activity and their dressing sense because their activity is not good. So the people are afraid about their children's. They are afraid if they become like them. They are afraid of their culture should be totally changed because of these people. But there are some people, they are happy about coming of these people in Auroville. In most of place, there was no trees and plant. But after they come, they develop trees and plant, which is good thing. They help children for studying, and these all things are happen because of French people. So the surrounding villagers are very happy with Auroville.
When you get right down to it, Auroville is about karma yoga. It's about the yoga of work. So what about working? When Aurovillians do work, what do they do? What do they value? Let's find out.
If you don't do anything,
you cannot have an experience.
The whole life is a field of experience.
Each movement you make,
each thought you have,
each work you do,
can be an experience.
And must be an experience.
And naturally, work in particular is a field of experience,
where one must apply all the progress which one endeavors to make inwardly. Meanwhile, our travelers are on the road from Syria to Germany through Budapest, Hungary. Here is a family in search of freedom, in search of opportunity, in search of a new way of life.
attention please, ladies and gentlemen, requesting you all to get on board. The train will leave at 12:05. Please be on board. Thank you.
Jamal, wake up. Jamal.
I'm going to the toilet.
Don't go. Don't leave.
It's over there. You see, Jamal? It says toilet.
Okay.
I'm going to check the timing for the train. Next train to Freiburg.
This is our final call for the train to Freiburg. Please be on board. Thank you.
Salim? Salim?
Daddy?
Salim? Salim, we have to go. Salim?
What's the problem?
What's the shouting?
No problem. No problem. No problem. We are waiting.
This is your train, lady. Come on, let's go.
No,
Salim!
no.
Salim!
Come on, let's
Where
go
are
fast.
you?
I believe there's a plan for me. These fears paralyze, can't move, feel or open my eyes, see the truth in disguise, always looking on the outside. Something that's always been right here inside of me, coming home finally, coming home finally, and I choose faith, not fear, steer towards my dreams, trusting the unseen, coming home finally, coming home finally, and
The city will be built by what is invisible to you. Nothing depends on human beings, neither the planning nor the execution. Nothing. The men who have to act as instruments will do so despite themselves. They are only puppets in the hands of larger forces. That's why one can laugh. We were on the road to somewhere else.
We got off.
We disembarked.
Just to listen to the music for a while.
We were beguiled.
Made useless.
And then changed.
We pronounced new words gladly.
We made a stir.
We felt there was safety in numbers.
We were bereft of good advice.
Or talent.
Or old wine.
We couldn't keep still.
Couldn't sit still.
Something was stirring inside us.
It was too luscious to keep secret.
We pronounced ourselves ready for
Anything.
For
tomorrow.
We hardly had time to pack.
We took only what was absolutely necessary and fruitful.
We hardly looked back.
We didn't make a stir.
We didn't want the publicity.
We didn't want to offend anybody.
We kept our remorse to ourselves.
It was a pity.
There was pity.
We slammed the door shut behind us.
The door slammed shut behind us.
We could hear it echo from afar.
We could hear the echo from afar.
We carried only what was absolutely
Necessary.
Polite.
Helpful. Designed for smooth sailing.
We hope to stay perpendicular for a while.
We carried rulers to measure our progress.
We touched base often.
we couldn't get quickly enough.
We didn't get away too quickly.
We got away quickly.
We never looked back.
We were tired of living without love.
We had known war,
Dishonor,
Poverty,
pretension,
riches,
songs,
palaces.
We could not bear to think anymore.
To think this would be the way,
Babbling,
angry and alone.
That we would go at the end to God.
There must be another way.
we muttered.
shouted,
Hurling our distress into the street
We were careless of the direction.
without deciding.
we simply turned towards the sun and followed the light.
We simply turned towards the sun and followed the light.
Put it in your pocket and it doesn't go away. Put it in your pocket and it is there to stay. Put it in a treasure box, hide it in a shoe. It doesn't care where it is, as long as it's with you. We can save up, we don't let up, we can mount up, we don't count up, we can pick up, we don't miss a trick. Up, it's our precious and we, oh, sorry. Money tries to comfort you when you're sad or blue. Money can be difficult to save, to spend, to hoard, to raise. So true, so true, so true. We can save up, we don't let up, we can mount up, we don't count up, we can pick up, we don't miss a trick. Up, put it in your pocket and it doesn't go away. Put it in your pocket and it is there to stay. Put it in a treasure box, hide it in a shoe. Doesn't care where it is, as long as it's with you. We can save up, we don't let up, we can mount up, we don't count up, we can pick up, we don't miss a trick.